Bayelsa Police Command says it will apprehend the fleeing gunmen who killed famous Giobaro, a journalist working with the State Radio Corporation.
In an interview with TVC at the scene of the crime, Police Commissioner Asukwamba says his officers are on the trail of the killers. Ovieteme George reports.
4 INEC Road, Yenagoa, looks like a ghost yard, and while people in the neighborhood politely declined to make comments, a young man gave an insight into how the suspects used a ladder to gain entrance into the compound from the perimeter fence at about 5 on Sunday morning.
Me and my elder brother and my senior brothers, we were inside, then try to use their big hammer, hit the door 2 times. The door open. So my elder brother run enter the toilet. Me, I can't run enter I see say our weight no reach again. So I can't run enter the wardrobe. So from the door, they can't start to shoot until shoot them. So I think come fall and still shoot them again. Can't they ask say where the money dey? So you can't like they say money no dey. They can't still bullet them again. From there, they come parlor, carry my elder brother phone. All of them come out before we can later see policemen for the compound.
Do you think it was a case of assassination or armed robbery?
I don't really know.
The Bayelsa State Police Commissioner, Asukwo Amba, and top officers of the command arrived the area and immediately started combing the neighborhood for clues that will lead to the arrest of the killers of famous Giobaro, a native of Otuedu in Ogbea Council area of the state.
It's quite an unfortunate incident, but however, I can assure the generality of the public that we will definitely get the gang involved. There are 3 small boys, we are underage boys they are using that we are suspecting. We've got one of them and is giving the police very useful information to that.
Holes in the floor and on the door suggest that more than 7 bullets were fired by the unidentified gunmen whose mission is not yet clear since nothing was taken from the apartment.
It's a sad one to the NUJ family in Bayelsa State because one of our very vibrant journalists has been cut short in his prime. I think this one is a premeditated murder, and I also learned he had also complained of an attempt on his life last week before this unfortunate incident happened on Sunday. We want the police in the state to rise up to the occasion and bring these perpetrators to book.
Police Commissioner Asukwo Amba left the scene with a promise that the fleeing gunmen will be arrested.
The compound is deserted. Neighbors of the fallen journalist, famous Giobaro, have all taken to flight. But right behind me are relations of the deceased journalist who have come to mop up the bloodstains, vestiges of the sad development. Ovieteme George, TVC News, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
A real big blow to the journalism profession in Nigeria. One more bites the dust. Well, joining us now on Skype from Bayelsa State is Chairman, National Union of Journalists, NUJ, Bayelsa Chapter, John Angese. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you and good morning.
Yes, good morning. Now from all indication, this seems to have been a premeditated murder and assassination, going by the report of our correspondent there, Ovieteme George. Are there any leads so far as to exactly why Giobaro was killed?
None that we can state for now until the police in the state will come up with something from the investigation. Because ordinarily Famous is not somebody that is troublesome. I don't see any reason why anybody will cut his life that short. So we can't really give a clue to where it is coming from. But I know I still remain resolute in my conviction that it wasn't a robbery case.
All right, let's look at Famous as a journalist. How would you describe Famous as a journalist? Was it a cantankerous journalist or an easygoing journalist?
An easygoing one. We were employed the same day. We work in the same office. We came in the same time. We rose through the rung to become a desk editor. Famous is somebody that is jovial. No matter how serious a case is, it comes in with jokes and has a way of having his way He has never been troublesome. Nobody can say that to my face. I will challenge it anywhere. He's an easygoing journalist, and by the nature of the kind of office we are, it's not the type that you write stories that will really put you into trouble, because we are trained, and going by the fact that we are government-owned media, we know where we cut our lines. Famous has never been involved in such any act that will put him on the danger line. I don't think that it's coming from there.
And of course, he had complained about threats to his life. According to that report, sometime, well, a week before, he was slain in his own house. In your interaction with him, did you have any sense that something was going on with him that may have changed? That
Not
now
at all.
with this thing that happened now, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, you know, gives you some sense of, look, something really was going on.
Yeah, I saw him last on Thursday before he was gruesomely murdered on Sunday. Even at that instance, we were discussing about his award. He was nominated for the Best Editor Award for this year's Bayelsa Media Award celebration. That was only what we discussed. He never told me. I didn't hear from him directly. It's only at this incident that I was told he had complained of such attempt on his life. Even if that was the case, even at that moment, he's still somebody that is cheering. He never wore any sad look to depict that he was troubled at the time I met him last.
All right, there was a report credited to a media rights monitoring group that I got last night as talking about complaints from the NUJ chapter of Bayelsa State, where some government officials harassed journalists, particularly a sport journalist was harassed, and even some member of the radio corporation in Bayelsa were also harassed by this particular government official. How true is that?
The harassment you've heard is a different ball game altogether. I don't think, and I remain resolute on that. It is not coming from that end. We've never gotten that embittered to have gone this far. Not at all. We had our differences quite agreed. Our differences were policies. On the other side, harassment came at some point. Notwithstanding, I think since the NUJ was up to the tax, even those at those quarters also know what we were complaining about. We were complaining that at some point our duties have been infringed upon. But nonetheless, it's not to the point of harassing the journalists with an attempt to hurt anyone. I feel they want to please their masters. They want to do their job at the best way they can. They think they are doing. But we also know that at some point there are incursions. And it's those incursions we had cried out. Not to this extent of saying it's not coming from the government angle. Not at all. That I must say, it's not coming from there.
And unfortunately, Nigeria is on the list of countries where journalism or journalists actually are not entirely safe. Give us a picture of what it is like to practice journalism in Bayelsa State, for example. And that on the one hand, what are you hearing from security operatives as to investigations that we hear are ongoing already?
Yeah, I'll start with the rare. This morning, we were planning on further actions. We had to visit the police, but we had to get some understanding with them. We allowed them to do their job. The information we gathered from the police is cheering enough. I know they are not sleeping. They are not sleeping. They are up on it. We want to believe that the police commissioner will do a thorough job and bring the perpetrators to book. So we don't want to do anything that will further jeopardize any action or any plan. So we are going to stay low for now until they come up with their investigation. I know they are interrogating some persons. Definitely they will not be sleeping, because I saw from all the reports they visited the scene and they will definitely do something. So we are trusting in the capability of the police commissioner. For the earlier question, the practice of journalism in Bayelsa State has never come under this serious attack. This is the first time somebody is murdered in this cold blood. I also have been a victim to an attack, a similar attack, but thank God I came alive. I was attacked with a machete. My 2 fingers were lacerated. But I will not still say that is also tied to the job that we do.
Are you trying to be politically correct? John, let me interrupt you. Are you trying to be politically correct here? Because from you, a machete was used on you, you have 2 fingers lacerated, and that didn't sound like a danger zone to you.
You know, that is why I was explaining. It's related to the area we live. It's not. I don't think it is tied to the job we do. I'm not the only person that have been attacked in my neighborhood. So, but I know on the nutshell, the journalism profession has never been attacked this bad. This is the first time it's happening. We had cases where robbers had visited media houses and the rest of that. But it has not come to the point of eliminating somebody's life. The attacks can come from any quarter because of the job we do, but not a premeditated murder as this one has appeared. We know we have our challenges anyway, but not to this extent.
All right, John and Gese, Bayelsa State Chairman, National Union of Journalists, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we do hope that police will get to the root of this and perpetrators will be brought to justice. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.